Community, it's our 2-year anniversary at Culture Kinesis. I'm certain you can hear my smile. I'm so proud to say that because I know what it took to get here. In this 2-year period, I've grown. I've been afraid and uncertain. I've celebrated successes. I've cried so many tears. I've played small at times. I've stood in my power too. I've blown it. I've also surpassed what I believed possible. I've changed my mind again and again. I've given up again and again. I've recommitted again and again. What I marvel most at is the way in which my personal learning journey has informed how I guide my clients' cultural reimagination journeys today. I founded Culture Kinesis with no clear arrival point in mind. What I did have was absolute clarity that I wanted to do work that got at the foundation of racial equity challenges. I had no clue where I was headed, but I knew the direction. And so in these 2 years, I've learned to move with directionality even when I don't have a specific destination. Before founding Culture Kinesis and before I knew how important having the right environment was to my leadership, I repeatedly got my heart broken. I would guide my teams to work in audacious ways that prioritize community centricity, interruption of power dynamics, shared leadership, etc. We were about relationships over revenue. We were about intention over impact numbers. And the things we did worked. We met goals, often better than traditional ways of working had. Even still, the status quo showed up and said, no, thank you. And so in these 2 years, I've learned to fashion a new environment, a container where I am not beholden to the rigidity of any institution. As an executive director, I learned to work and move in a particular way. Over time, I accepted erroneously that these behaviors were native to me. The literal second that I stepped outside of that container, I started to see glimpses of another self, a truer self, my artist self. She was full of creative ideas. She did her best thinking, not in front of the computer, but while walking or while lying on the kitchen floor with big Post-it paper. I didn't know her, so I didn't trust her to lead at first. The moment I gave her some space, some shine, she showed me that liberation as mindset and praxis is critical. And so in these 2 years, I've learned that absolutely everything, including who I think I am, can be renegotiated and reimagined. At Culture Kinesis, our goal is cultural reimagination. This started as a theory, a belief that we have been unsuccessful in our efforts to increase racial equity because we have not been creative enough and because we have not engaged in intentional preparation. Cultural reimagination is the process of constructing a new container in which we work to build intentional community, engage in critical unlearning, embrace radical reeducation, and then reimagine a racially equitable future. To take this a step further, cultural reimagination is the work of proactively or retroactively addressing the steps that are often skipped once you've made a decision to invest in diversity, equity, inclusion, etc. I have been asked this one question more than any other over the last 2 years by clients. Rachel, what does it take for us to be successful in a cultural reimagination process? It's just 3 things. Number 1, enough audacity to move with directionality until you have specified a destination. Number 2, enough audacity to construct a new container for your work versus trying to retrofit the old container. And 3, enough audacity to believe that everything, including who you understand yourself and others to be, can be renegotiated and reimagined. Just 3. I know this because over the last 2 years, I have been deep in my own cultural reimagination process. I always tell my clients, I'm not asking you to do something that I haven't done, that I don't do. These are the foundational things, the often skipped steps. By nature, they are the things that take more intention and will require you to embrace a different way of leading and of doing and of being. And so in order to lead and do and be different, we have to first imagine what different actually is. If you skip that step, you will have to come back eventually. And when you do, we'll be here.